Welcome everybody to week 7 of Onward VRML, and we are in for one heck of a matchup here. Getting started up here shortly, but until then, I want to just give a quick mention to the bands and a little bit of the teams we're going into tonight. OP should be no surprise to everybody here that they are the most upvoted that we had for the week. And we were against Animal House, both teams that are phenomenal in all regards. We have lots of history on both sets of teams here. Animal House, I think, was going back to season 6 or 7, remember right here. Having one quick technical issue with Onward, though. We're trying to work through that. So, yeah, give me just one more minute or so here because I'm in a little bit of a lobby issue right now. And it's kind of strange because it's like the regions just aren't working at all. I'm getting absolutely nothing for the lobbies. So, yeah, give me a minute here because certainly is not right. Huh. Yeah, it's not showing the lobby at all here. So, sorry about this. This is definitely an unplanned issue. But we will get that result here with the captains. Wonderful way to start off the stream as well. So, the bands, as I've played them already, you've probably already read them as it is. We're not going to those 4 maps. Looks like OP does not play Shipyard whatsoever, and Bazaar was a ban of strength against Animal House, and the same goes for Animal House banning their cargo and Suburbia. As we've seen several times. Oh, there it is. Now we got it. As we've seen several times on OP, they are excellent players of cargo, and surprise, surprise, cargo is not in the running for tonight. But you know what is? Now I got finally in here, a bandit. So we are now finally in, and we're still waiting on one. Just verify. Okay. Alright, we are good to go on my side here. Get the teams notified. Alright, so now that we finally got all these tech issues resolved, hopefully this is not a little bit of a foreshadowing as to how tonight is going to go. Because I even had to reinstall Onward tonight. So that's not terribly comforting on my side here, but we will roll with it as it comes, and we will do best to bring you the top tier casting that we've got going on here, because it is team number 1, Animal House for NA versus OP, and OP has got the quick spawn.
Oh, I have a smoke.
So you can see here we got the lineup of Chowie, Vadi, Laureen, CJ Hubs, Ree, early shots out on from Re over towards Poca and Ares, going both down right away, and another two go down on the opposite side from Sarcasm and Lipinski. Sarcasm is holding up the rooftop here. Very common spot, so I imagine that they are going to be looking this direction here very, very shortly. Hop on over to Re, as they are starting to make this push a little bit more. Daniel definitely going to hear the sounds around the corner on the outside. Going to probably get this call out done. At least a little bit of a signal there. Free fire around the corner doesn't actually get anything because nobody's there. Sarcasm does get a quick tag on them in the end. Down they go, and Laureen is also backing them up around the corner, taking the top approach. It looks like Daniel is the last one remaining, and Laureen is looking not over that direction in time. And a trade out in the end with OP taking the first round here. What a way to start this off. Daniel getting 3 kills in the end of it all for round number 1. All right, let's take a quick peek on in the chat here. Kind of get resituated and caught up. We got Downpour, we got Mason, we got Undead Josh. Hey, West Vultures. The Oasis. Burp. And Offbeats. The first time chatter. So, welcome in. Shining Point, miss you too here. The Torres family, I scrolled up just slightly too fast, I think, to see your 1 or 2 messages here. But yeah, we're gonna be in for some good Onward action. If you haven't already, go grab some water, go grab a snack, because you're really not going to want to pop away from the screen too much in this case. Oh, and I am getting a rehost because we hit what appears to be a 1 round bug. So let's jump back in. Alright, so yeah, they did get the 1 round uplink bug, and they are gonna do a quick rehost to try to get that uplink back. So looks like I'm not the only one who is having the issues here, so bear with us a little bit as we kind of get situated back here. Well, if you're new, welcome in, and if you are not, welcome as well. Welcome veterans all over the map here, or what the map is in the globe. And all over the leagues. So seeing a little bit of cross-league action taking place. I'm actually starting to peek over at Blaston and Ultimex just for a little bit of a taste as to what that looks like. Saw several people from the Onward side in the Blaston League, and it was nice to see some familiar faces there. But if you're new to Onward, again, welcome. This is it's a military simulator that does primarily close quarter combat and a little bit of long range, where your ultimate goal as the MARSOC, representing the US, is to punch in a 7-digit code into a satellite uplink that is defended by the Vulk team, generally represented by the more Slavic countries, Russia, and whatnot like that, based on the weaponry and the equipment loadouts. the uniforms overall. So if you get to the uplink, you punch in that 7-digit code, you get 2 points. If you kill the rest of the team before that happens, you get 1 point. We are in a race to 4 points per each map. And as you saw on the sides here of the scoreboards, the bands say we are not going to those locations. And that gives the teams a little bit of strategy and capability to look at their opponent and determine if they want to play certain maps because the team that they are facing may be weaker, or ban the maps that the other team is strong on. Or ban the maps that you just don't want to play, because OP tonight doesn't play Shipyard at all. They just don't like it. Not a lot of people like Shipyard, but a good amount of people do. It's just their play style and their team's decision. They don't want to play it. And those are the basics of it. That's the basics of Onward. We're still trying to find... Oh! We did finally get the right uplink. So we'll be popping back here in a minute. Alright, I am set up. The teams are coming back in. We're just getting the rest of everybody set up here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, looks like... Yeah, it looks like they're still working through an issue here. I'm not going to flip back to gameplay just yet, so sorry again, bear with me while we are getting these kind of situated and everybody good to go. Alright, well, while we're here, see the sponsors on the screen. We're going to give a quick shout out to them. We got VR cover for all the facial inserts you need for the Quest series. Nice, comfy little inserts there. One that's really cooling, one that actually is more comfy oriented, and one that's just kind of like a regular faux leather texture to what the regular Quest comes with. For thickness, downpour interactive VRML, of course, producing the content and organizing the league and other leagues, as I had mentioned earlier. ProTube VR giving you every need that you have for keeping your accurate straight and steady by giving you a physical gun stock you may mount your mag or your clips into whether it be a magnet piece or just a regular cup that doesn't detach. And then they do pistol sets as well, if you didn't know that. They have a force feedback module that you can buy separately or as a complete package, so that way you actually get the rumble of the gun stock against your shoulder as well. Stereon for producing all sorts of fine quality accessories for the headset, whether it be charging docks and whatnot. And then we got Arma GG. I'm still wearing my coat. It's slightly cold. I'm wearing the swag. Arma GG's got some good jerseys and good sweatpants overall. Alright, we are finally in. We finally got everybody situated, and it looks like we are ready to go. This is definitely going to be getting the teams a little bit of a a little bit of a mental break there, but at the same time, kind of make them a little more nervous, I think, because of the fact that they've had so many issues with this as well. Quick spawn does identify by Vadi really quickly, right on out the door, and does grab the first kill. This is going to put OP into a little bit of a sticky situation because of the fact that they have to now figure out how they're going to break into this and spread out and kind of surround the uplink. There's a revive, so that gives them the full team on Animal House for defending. I think I got the teams backwards here. I will switch that up in a... Yeah, I got the teams backwards. I'll switch that up in a second here because, as I said, we're having tech issues. The lobbies. But look at this flank from Ree all the way out and around. They ended up going out the front door and all the way on the hill set because of how far positioned they are. That's going to give them a good advantage all the way down towards Lipinski's point of view. And usually you usually see teams pushing this very quickly here, but Animal House has chosen to actually stop and take a bit of a break. And holy, Ree almost tagging Vadi over the shoulder there as well, which would have been disastrous. As now OP, as I have the teams backwards here, is down to 3. That would have been down to 2. And that would not have been playing nicely for them because it is a good advantage here, especially with this quick spawn. You're kind of pinned as to where you're going overall. You really don't have much of a means of maneuvering or flanking around from here. With Ares having 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, it's going to give a good amount of time to figure out how they want to approach this. Probably from the opposite side is my personal opinion on how it would at least give a little bit more coverage on the doorways. But you got the darkness on the left-hand side at least that's going to play into a bit more of a negative vantage point. But I still really think that because of the amount of movement that's going on here, going in on the left would be a little bit safer. Got a little bit of a break in action. Let's correct this now. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. They're going to have to really take their time here, but get a little bit of more ground covered. Take a quick peek on the opposite side of the house. You can see Chowie really just checking every angle because of the fact that they are playing it a little bit more safely. They don't want to have something sneaky happen to them. But at the same time, you really don't want to just leave yourself too exposed here. Hub's checking out the window sets here. Ares is ultimately going to come through that way, but here's what I was talking about. You got that doorway you can see through, but really got to check that if you were to come in from the far long approach.
Minute 20.
Come back out to Ares. They're really just trying to get the the sounds kind of identified where they're sitting, where they're moving around. 50 seconds remaining. The time is now coming down to the wire here, but this particular spot on the door, probably not the way to go in. Using the boxes, that might be a little bit more wise, because at least you can kind of duck down, get the head coverage, and we're gonna quick peek around and trade. OP's taking the second round. The bandit here. And I always hit tab out of quickly displaying those scores, but it doesn't really matter right now because we've had to rehost lobbies a couple of times. So let's get repositioned up here all the way to the north. All the way to the north. You're on the helicopter here. If you haven't figured that out, all the way to the north. You ever wonder how this helicopter crashed and how one side is clean cut on until you get to a support beam all the way in the bottom there? The other side is split the opposite direction. You ever wonder that? Just me. All right, round number 3. Here we go. And let's see what Animal House is thinking here.
I'm gonna try and throw C4 somewhere in the valley so it may be hard to push it.
Do you want me to hold on to it since we're farther up?
Hold the trigger.
All right, passing off a clacker, but the C4 is going to come out all the way to the south here. Of course, the TAR-21 is coming out. I can't see the sight really too well here. That is going to land behind the rock.
Three story.
A little in the open, but not a bad position overall. 3-story was called out on. Wow. Sneaky, sneaky.
2 to 3 story.
2 to the 3-story is correct. Their count is right. Let's see what Vadi's taking some shots at here. Oh, ducking down as well. I think they're just trying to get some sort of suppressing fire out onto the helicopter. Let's see what Laureen's thinking and looking at over here. Definitely can't see that angle from here, so they're not going to get too much in the perspective. But really, it's a good amount of fire being exchanged back and forth here. Lots of lead flying back. Oh, and first kill comes out to Reed with Ares in the headshot. Down goes a second. There is a double, but Sarcasm's around the corner and does get that kill and call out there. So now Animal House is going to have to reposition here. Looking at the mini-map, you're going to see these two start collapsing back in. Maybe keep a little bit of a flanker wing out there, but yeah, I haven't seen Sarcasm use the NVGs yet to try to get that glimpse. But it's only really one down on the side here, and the 2-story really isn't going to make much more of a positional movement until they get all the way across the street. Yeah, as we can see on the other side, we got CJ Hubs making a slow push around this corner here, because why would you rush around this, especially when you've got the rest of the team still positioning here? Chowie right where that C4 would have been if it were not blown by Lipinski already. Got a suspicion that they're going to start checking farther down towards where Lipinski is. And we can see in the map, Vadi and Lorraine are still kind of working their way over. Ooh, a little bit more peeky. Lipinski might have actually seen Chowie taking more of a long-standing look at the helicopter there. Down to go Sarcasm finally on that helicopter. cockpit. And Chowie's gonna pull back. CJ Hubs is starting to push in on this, but I think right now coordination would be a little bit key here because of the fact. Oop. Chowie's gonna double back, it looks like here. But CJ Hubs is creeping up there.
Can't look, I'm on objective.
I suspect that they heard all this. They can't look because they are on objective. There comes the smoke out. Blinding Lipinski perfectly. Gotta go Floka. Lipinski's the last one remaining. They know they're in the helicopter and they're not gonna get the kill right through that doorway. But around the corner, and OP does get the kill.
Bro, fantastic smoke, dude.
Alright, so we are seeing OP pull out some different tactics than I usually see, because they usually don't play Abandon whenever I've casted them or when others have casted them. Let's see, they've played Abandon twice, and they've won it twice. So, look at the rest of the scores here across season 14. It's all 2s, and a couple of 1s for wins dispersed in there, but they have a pretty good rating. If you haven't been keeping track of them, they are number 2 right now on the NA ladder. Snow Peak is their most played with 3-3. So, I'm not used to seeing this level of kind of slow pace and tactics being deployed. We are going to get the northwest spawn instead of northeast. But the coordination level there towards the end was perfect, and as you saw, it just enabled them to start getting the concealment they needed for the movement, and at the same time swing and get kills.
I thought that smoke was shit. I'm glad
I thought- Dude, I don't
It was
know
a good
what
one
that
for me,
smoke
too.
was.
Quick banter about the smoke position. Nope, they did get the call out that they were crossing behind the apartments. Chowie is going to cover that angle now. Looking where they got that, and it's a very, very late angle ultimately. Oh, and as they peek away, Ares is going to start pushing around into the eastern Snake Valley. Take a quick peek here. Look at the spread. Look at that line. Great to see the team coordinating the push and where they actually want to go. And how they're going to execute a plan. Ah, peaky little angle here, it looks like.
Did I drop? I put that in my holster.
I mean, technically the pouches can go up there if they locate them, but if I were set for that customization level, that would be phenomenal for exactly getting your loadout the way you want it. Take a peek over at Ree here. A nice, patient angle to play. So you come around that corner and you really don't have much of a chance to react unless you pre-fire. Ares doesn't really know where they want to go, looks like here. They are in perfect line of sight from Chowie. Let's take a peek as to where Cuoco was. Oh, coming up behind. They went all the way around on the beach line free. And look at this rotation. Vadi's recognizing the fact that there was the kill from behind. A little bit of a distraction set as well. Ree. Ah, look at that. Ares was saved by the Lipinski. Body making a good safe position readjustment here. Coming in from where CJ was. Is Quokka still around here? No, they died ultimately because of the kill. Across the back half of the map. Because Chowie's repositioning there as well, trying to relocate because they are realizing that it is down to 3, now 2. Get caught in the bit of motion there, as you usually tend to get killed while moving. There's a good critical kill for OP because of the fact that it is now at least keeping them within a 1-player range of being even. Rain's going to double back and kind of bail on that spot. Another wise move here because Vadi is starting to get surrounded. Sarcasm coming up around behind them. Well, Aries is coming in from the front, and Lipinski is going to start being a little bit late on this push. But they're going to eventually come around. I think Vadi heard those sounds. Oh, down goes Laureen. Relatively close to Vadi's position as well. They get a little bit out in the open. I think they really didn't want to get that cap on them, so they were going to try to sacrifice or kill at the same time there. Look at these kill counts here. 5 and 2 from Sarcasm, getting the double at the end there. Vadi with the 4 and 2. And that does put Animal House on the board finally. Keeping it alive and abandoned. I think I was reading in chat, they really don't play this one very often, and that is true. And we're now going into the middle. On the wall. Ooh, this is gonna be a little bit of a tough one for Animal House to defend against, I think, because this one you get quick spawn and you lob a 203 smoke grenade up and over, you can get a pretty good obscuration of the pipelines here. Or if you so choose, you can do the opposite side of the warehouse as well, on the northern front. But either way, this is going to prove interesting because of the amount of spawns that are here and available. And which spawn they get is going to really, really count. All the way in the northeast that OP is going to get. Alright.
What's past ban?
Let's go.
They banned Cargo Spirit.
Aww.
I think a little bit of disappointment there.
In a important.
Oh. Sapper mics. Where are you going? I'm going 3-story. You go there.
A little bit of last minute coordination as you can hear here going on. Ooh, look at that. 2 in the 3-story, looking relatively the same direction. Might be a little bit dangerous ultimately. Especially in the fact that you gotta ensure that you've got coverage on the uplink. The first kill out from Quokka. Very far off in this too. They dead sprinted all the way in the north. There isn't a northwest spawn in here, so I guess that is actually a pretty good tactic because you got an immediate flank. Couple of quick shots trying to keep the head down on Aries, but it looks like oh geez, I'm blind. Who is that? Sarcasm is
53,
gonna exchange out with the window peeking there. So we can hear 5-3. That means there are still 5 of Animal House alive and 3 remaining of OP. Chowie is in a very, very odd position there. But as Quokka's trying to maneuver to at least get out of that area and into a spot they didn't know, where they're going to be attacking from again, does get tagged. Nobody's sitting on uplink directly here. This is a very, very dangerous situation for Animal House. Daniel may not realize they're in a very forward position and they need to be doubling back and getting into a more defensible position here. You'd expect that OP would push this kind of hard after knowing where 2 were, at least within the 3-story.
There's a guy on the
And
other
that
side.
one was taken out in the north. Oh! Daniel's with a drop kill on Chowie, but doesn't check behind them, and Laureen gets the kill in the end here. Vadi is coming in on the uplink. Are they going to get tagged because of the doubles in the 3-story? Lipinski's now got to collapse back in on this and kind of defend it alone, especially Laureen around the corner as well. They're going to have to watch 2 different angles because there's really nobody else to kind of help them out on the uplink here. The fact that Vadi's on this rock, just out of reach from Lipinski, is making him a little bit nervous, I think. Down goes Laureen. Now it is a 1v3 with Vadi pinned down. Look at this flank. Sarcasm coming around the corner from the 3-story all the way down and tags Vadi on the opposite side they were looking because they were worrying about Lipinski. That was an excellent way to flank around there. I think I was even nervous though on the uplink coverage because it was wide open for probably a good minute and a half, 2 minutes there. At least my play style, how I've played this map historically, at least with my team during 13, you don't really see an uplink left open, especially in a large map. That's just me. Animal House did a wonderful job, though, because they got the win in the end there. They got the defense. Sarcasm with a 6-2 now. Take a quick peek in chat here. 47 people currently watching at this moment in time. Great to see everybody coming out. Especially this is one of the most requested matches of the week. Can you believe it? We're already halfway in to the season here. We're already halfway here. 7.
Okay, well, I will go with you if they get the quick spawn. If they don't get the quick spawn, I will go back. And you can say, okay?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm pissed. How did they go 2 fucking rounds on us?
Hear a little bit of the frustration. But it's not over yet. In my opinion, this is a very, very defensible uplink, and I think several would agree with me as well.
CJ, one on me.
Interesting. Ree could hear those sounds from the other side of the wall here. Up and over flashbang to at least slow down areas, get them panicking a little bit more. A second one with returning the favor back to Ree does not work because they were around the corner still. Hubs is holding one of my favorite positions.
Yeah, we don't get capped on here, boys. We are 5 up.
Shut up for a second. Shut up, shut up, shut up. You might be near me.
And can obviously hear a bit of the nervousness and banter there. I think they realize there's only one left. Lipinski is going to be sweating some bullets over here as well, especially since they just fired. I don't know if it was accidental because there is one up there, but it's a pretty safe bet that Vadi can basically stick their head out and kind of remain more exposed because of the fact that OP still has all 5 standing. And that just gives Lipinski Lipinski's position away there. Oh no, a quick down. Thankfully not a kill, but Lipinski's now having to duck, dodge, and weave to get out of here.
I'm sorry, I can't. I didn't die. I'm still here. He's on me.
And that smoke kind of tells them that you're backing off, but at least it does give you a little bit of concealment in a small angle here, but you can see Ree just trying to make a nice little stealthy approach here. Gonna happen is Lipinski gonna get the pick on Ree, or is it gonna be a trade straight out in the end? And OP have taken map number 1. I think it's gonna be a big sigh of relief for them as they clearly were holding themselves in a very high standard for the score there. And where are we gonna go now? Looks like we're gonna do another rehost. So, where are you thinking we're going? Where do you think? Bazaar is off the table, Cargo's off the table, Suburbi's off the table, and Shipyard. Lipinski will host it for map number 2. And we're going to quarantine. Like we're going to just take an additional minute here as we only have 3 on each side come back in here, and should start up momentarily. So I mention it every now and then, but we do have a VRML con for some other games in the league. But I know we have several people who, like I said earlier, do play Blast on, Ultimex. I think they're still around. There's a couple of Echo Cross teams into Onward, and Onward to Echo vice versa. So, if you're interested, go to VRMasterleague.com. Check out the page for it there. Tickets are on sale, and it is out in Denver, Colorado. I believe they are going to have some interesting arrangements for an agenda between all the different teams and leagues. But I think there's I think Nightfire mentioned yesterday a couple of the plans there, and I'm not going to try to quote him from memory there, so go check out the site and get some more information on it there. Tickets, I don't remember what time they close the sales at, but it is out in June, so I believe we got a little bit of time, good bit of time left. And I haven't seen them pop in tonight yet so far, but Sav welcoming welcome them to the social media team. She's already made several tweets during matches and actually has a couple of interesting ideas that are being discussed. So keep an eye out for some items in the announcements. I think the next few weeks here, there's going to be. I'm kind of excited for them. Kind of excited to see what's going to come out of it in the end, because there's some pretty good ideas that I was discussing with them and a couple of their mods. So stay tuned. We are working more on some ways to spice things up here within the Onward VRML league and try to keep things fresh. Still waiting on one from Animal House. Looks like we might have a sub, or might have a bit of a timeout. I do have a couple of DMs. Ah, yeah, they will be taking a full 10-minute timeout. Starting as of a couple minutes ago. So, we do have a couple minutes. All 5 of their team are back in. We do not have a sub, but we do have Aries back in here as well, as they were one of the last to join. But we're going to take the full 10 minutes here, so go. Never mind. As I say that, you can hear the dings on the board. And let's see, that timing was definitely just a couple minutes off from when I saw it when it was initially sent.
No. Stop joking.
So round number 1, quarantine. Who do you think's gonna win?
There's no fun.
Northwestern spawn for Animal House. Does give them the ability to set up rather interestingly and wait for a mid-map push. Probably holding the gas station here. Let's check in on somebody else over here. We got Vadi, Ree, and Laureen holding in on the uplink directly. A good 3 defender stack here with CJ looking for really kind of anything audio or a mid-map push. They have just the flashbang pair on them still. Sarcasm coming right in, not even looking. Gets taken out by CJ Hubs. They quickly duck back in to the stairwell as Daniel tries to get the refrag. Does ultimately miss in the end. That gives Daniel's position away, but they are going to stick to where they were. Frag grenade does not even land close to the second floor there. It does give Daniels a little bit of a position to maneuver into the rest of the cockpit area and duck back and around. They are now being exposed from the hospital roof here where Ree is, and Vadi is going to be capable of peeking out as well if they so choose. Howie's also looking this direction here towards Lipinski. Let's take a quick peek over on their side. I clicked Lipinski. You saw that, right? It's giving me Quokka Flocka. Well, I guess it worked out because we saw Lorraine with a good defense all the way in the warehouse. Let's fly back this way by hand because Lipinski's tile is not working. Oh, a quick grab on CJ in the burning building. I don't think they were expecting the peek over from this direction here. We see Chowie starting to duck back and kind of pull around to the other side of the building. This Lipinski, I was expecting to start charging in
Gas station's still alive.
toward the gas station, but see all these lasers now dialing in on this direction. Definitely getting more and more dangerous for Lipinski here as Animal House is only eliminated 1 of OP Daniel's in a very easily heard spot, and looks like Vadi might play into this, looking out the window a bit more.
Is that
Nope.
you, like,
No,
moving
yeah,
around?
listen. He went to the tail of the plane. He's going back to impact. And one in front of mid. One in front of mid. I can't watch
Okay.
it burning, but like he's right there. I hear his footsteps.
I got it.
By the wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's bad crack.
Did we see a little puff of blood come out of Vadi?
Another one's
Oh, trade out because they got a little bit peeky after saying they didn't want to poke out and go for the kill there. So
last 3-1 playing. It sounded like a trade, but don't count on it.
well, that leaves Lipinski up with the hard task of just getting past Chowie still at that. And down they finally go. This is now a 1v2 in favor of OP, with Laureen still defending all the way in the back, and Vadi trying to identify where
One tail of plane and then one burning.
exactly Lipinski is. Could hear a little bit of that communication saying that they were what, tail of plane.
Middle.
But that still gives away the positions at middle, and down they go. OP still continuing the winning of the rounds against Animal House. So, yeah. Couple of good quick poking angles, or peeking angles there for the kills early on, but also not watching the left shoulder, it seems. I think it was CJ who got killed with a left shoulder shot. I think it was by Lipinski out on the post office over here on the tail of the plane. And we'll retrade it out in the end. CJ or Chowie did get hit looking similar directions, but still kind of just a little bit off directionally wise. Alright, let's pop back in. Now see what Animal House is thinking
My people lag.
for how they want to defend this.
Daniel, why'd you give away our spawn?
Was that sarcasm with some sarcasm there?
Who's boss in here?
Nice little hedge peak angle here. They might see this cross. Oh. Literally onward timing. A duck down as everybody was coming across, and we at least could see from the slight offset that they did make that cross. So maybe they were able to see that as well if they had just kept looking. A good, very roundabout way for Ree and Laureen to come in. Getting a nice, good angle for checking out the gas station, but Quokka is tucked in. Early shots out. Laureen
54,
does try
one
to
dead
take a
southeast.
quick shot,
Oh shit.
but Lipinski gets the first kill here as the cross was coming out. They are not going to identify that CJ was the pairing in this push. Very exposed sarcasm. Looks like they identify them. At the same time, Vadi is going to take out Ares, only a down. And that's going to keep the resistance here,
We just come up to
at least from the center, kind of to a minimum. And the eastern attack has been entirely eliminated now, but look, we got Lorraine coming all the way around. If Quokka keeps just a little bit more... Oh, of course, the cross angle. Well, that now opens up all of the western approach here.
Got one.
Daniel,
Oh, no,
he got one. He got one.
Small little sliver of a shot through the windows there. So Animal House has got one player up against OP.
You know kill count?
It's kind of a good thing to keep in their favor, especially with how they've been fighting tooth and nail to gain some rounds on OP here. So Vadi and Lorraine trying to figure out where they're going to do this push. And I'm sure the kill count is accurate here. Vadi getting a little bit exposed, especially with no smoke coverage at all, to try to mask that audio. There's the quick bait from onto Sarcasm, but Daniels is around the corner here as well. They could support Sarcasm, or at least throw a little bit of smoke out. Lipinski gets the kill with an up and over in the end. Lorraine now charging in. If the tablet is not checked, this could... Ooh, even if Sarcasm doesn't hold their fire, Daniels could take a round to the back. A little bit of a distraction smoke, I think, there, but Lipinski could just look down. Lipinski's just got to look down, and there's Lorraine, but around the corner peek. And the Sarcasm is going to now throw off this entire rotation. Oh, man, make... It's like they want to go around. They got time. But it'd be really, really quick.
Oh, hi, pussy.
And Animal House ties it up here 1-1 with 1 minute remaining. They're getting a little bit more of that distance in the kills, it seems, as well, instead of getting them all closer on up the uplink on Abandoned, which kind of is interesting. So you can see here, we are now all the way in on the western Heskos. So yeah, it's interesting to see that these kills are coming in a little bit earlier with the map push compared to what Abandon was. Because, I mean, Abandon is a lot longer range. I don't think there was a sniper at all presented on Abandoned. But oh, it's just interesting to see the fact that these two top tier teams are getting kills at different time lengths in the map overall. Abandoned that you get a handful of people directly in on the uplink. We'll dismiss the early issues of the southeast quick spawn, because I mean you're right there in front of each other. You step out of spawn and you can basically wave to each other. So we'll dismiss that one. But the one all the way in the north, the helicopter, and the mid wall, a lot of those kills were coming in at much closer distances. So we're seeing a little bit more distance here on Quarantine. Just something to ponder. Since we are nearby Animal House, I usually like to start in on both because you can see the positioning much earlier. and then you kind of let Volt or let Marsoc get into position as well. But since we're in the neighborhood,
Alright, Daniel. Crash with me.
all right, look at this position set here: a 3-2 split with one covering AC, and then the other going all the way around to Motel. Really pushing past Motel at that.
One hospital, one admitted hospital.
Oh, that's a good quick kill on against CJ Hubs there. But now Lorraine's going to start coming around the corner. Let's pop in on them. What is up with the... So that one works. But a handful of these things, I just can't click on those. They're just not reliable right now. Lorraine trades the trades out there at the end, but does take a bullet around the corner to Sarcasm, which is going to give Animal House the advantage of player counts here again, which is something they really need to maintain here. Book goes around the corner and across the street from Ree, but I don't know if they can hear it just yet. Take a look at the map here. We got the positioning very, very far west as well. So the rest of the team is worried about the main push, but we got those wings to worry about. We got those flankers there. Kind of similar here, like the uplink is left entirely open. There's nobody sitting back on this wall. I was kind of expecting that's a very common place to play, but they're sitting really positioned back and letting the Marsoc have to cross out into the open for it there. A little bit of the chatter, they're asking if they can see the uplink because of the smoke. I guess that kind of answers, yeah, but not greatly, and that flashbang was going to give at least the Lipinski a bit of an idea as to where they're sitting. Chowie around the corner from Vadi is going to get tagged by Aries, just at least in the leg, but it's not going to knock them out in time. The question is Aries going to be able to see the other side? No. Pinsky downs Ree on the hospital there. He's eliminating the fact that there is the wing to worry about, and gonna open up the map here for Quokka. Body now not making any regards to life, is going to just sacrifice themselves and ensure a cap is not presented. Very, very great concern. If a cap was given to Animal House, I think there'd be a lot of feelings about that. So rather than do that, just give him the round, and we'll address it in the next here. With Animal House now on defense, we really haven't seen a tight defense overall. Like, nobody's been sitting directly on the uplink within, within point blank range. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get a little bit of that change up here now. Maybe stick somebody on the red ramp or somebody behind the walls of the Heskos. They played Abandoned rather exploded and really, dare I make the pun, abandoned the uplink until the last second. So maybe they'll try to keep it kind of more medium range. A frag grenade on these Heskos could still work, but you got a lot more cover to kind of present yourself a little bit more low profile in case that happens. So yeah, I guess we'll kind of see what happens. had a quick false start there. Looks like they might take the full 2 minutes between the rounds. Because they had one drop on the Animal House. There they are. Daniel wanted to reset his score. Ooh, we got the quick spawn. Round number 4, quick spawn is given. Uh-oh. Ree's got to put their headset back on.
Yo, round reset.
No,
Are you
no.
back? Not back. Not back, guys. Round reset right now. Round reset.
No, wait.
Uh-oh. It's a little bit late.
Oh my
It's a bit late. Are they going to make it? Looks like they just barely made the round reset. All right, so I guess we'll see what happens here. Reen clearly stepped away based on the body positioning. That would have been a very great disaster to play that round with one person very, very offset timing and distance wise, and not understanding what the plan would have been. So they just barely made that round reset in time, and it whew. Good on them for making that time, because that would have been a disaster for OP score-wise.
Sorry guys.
Yo, but when you get in there, they might have somebody behind the box. So let me shoot.
No, Joey, wait. I'm gonna duck down so they can't shoot me.
Yeah,
One's in
he's
gas,
in gas.
As they were worried about one in gas. Problem is, there's a second one back there that Lipinski's given the backup for, and is Sarcasm gonna get a little bit of this peak here? Ree's going up top. Maybe that can get a little bit more of an angle, because it looks like Sarcasm's not looking for a top approach. All right, we'll come back here in a second. We know what's going to happen there, but look at this. CJ Hubs and Quokka Floka nearly on top of each other with the sounds able to be heard. I think CJ knows exactly where they are. Peeking back over here into Sarcasm. Ree is up top. I think they did land a quick shot nearby, but nothing actually connected because there's no syringe on the floor. Is Ree gonna get this as Sarcasm starts getting a little bit more peaky on the window?
That's you, never mind, that's you.
Uh-oh, and a false call out. That is actually a true position of center burning, but it just so happens to be that they identified a teammate there, and Quokka saves Sarcasm from the upward angle there. CJ Hubs is around the corner on the outside, and Quokka's going down. CJ is ready for them, looking the opposite side, but Chowie's going to take them out in the end, giving this a 1-to-1 exchange there. And Chowie's just really trying to get something onto Sarcasm, because they are relatively pinned unless they go out and all the way around, abandon the whole hospital approach entirely. Looking back over here, we're seeing Lipinski with, again, this long peek here. Let's get a quick glimpse here. I'd click on the icon and get somebody across the map. Really not going to see anything because Chowie is now up top, and they have stayed up top. An excellent smoke there, though. Brief moment of silence here as we can see something all the way in the northwest getting close. We got that that position we'll come back to in a minute here, but you can kind of see across the other side of the building. Ares just needs to stay nice and quiet overall, and they should be able to get Lorraine. Give a couple of quick radio taps here. They are identifying that their sounds are not friendly, so not friendly footsteps. There, we can finally see Chowie deciding to abandon that route in. And that's kind of leaving Ares all the way out in the north with Lorraine nearby, but they're going to check up top. Because why wouldn't you? Now, if Ares laid down earlier and just watched this angle, because he could tell if the footsteps were going left or right, they likely would have been able to catch Lorraine out. Around the corner, quickly going to snap onto Lorraine's head. And Animal House is really showing their dominance on this particular uplink. Down goes CJ. While they looked like they were trying to at least identify Lipinski and dial in, that was a little bit, I think, off guard. Not expecting somebody back there, despite one of their own holding that position. Chowie finally gets sarcasm after all this time. Again with another headshot there. Keeping an eye on exactly where that position was and not forgetting that it's still there. Now Chowie's got 15 seconds remaining here. The last member of OP, they have to go out charging, and they're gonna give Animal House a third round. So, if Animal House does take this one, that does give them the 1-point lead. At least with the map comparison, it is, it would be a 5-6 there. So that would give them the 1-point lead, which would be a little bit better to dismay any sort of potential loss in the future. So they really need to watch where exactly they're going to go for this particular round. If they cap this, which has not been the trend on OP, you really haven't seen a cap come out against OP yet, but if they cap this, that's going to give them the bump that they need to maintain the bit of an MMR lead, as they are #1 for the NA division right now, and they are looking to maintain that here because OP is #2, and OP to this day has not lost a match. So they really want to capitalize on this as best as they can, especially within their map pick. And Quarantine looks to be their strongest so far between what we've seen here presented to us today, but also statistically with a 100% win rate and an 84 round win rate. 84% round win rate. So if it is the map to upset OP in this particular matchup, it is this map.
Try to survive.
Try to survive. Isn't that what we all try to do? Isn't that what we all try to do when we're playing first-person shooters?
Stay confused.
Ooh, an early frag grenade. Ares throwing that out all the way from the north. That must have been against the side of the AC building here. We can see Ares getting very, very antsy here. Down goes Lurian, only a down, able to give the position away as to where Ares was. That's going to leave Vadi a little bit of the intel there. Ares is going to have to double tap Loreen. There is the double tap to eliminate any communications coming out. And look at this. Quokka charging right on in, but does not capitalize on it. CJ Hubs was able to protect this uplink. We have not seen a suicidal run yet from Animal House, and that was it.
Got hospital, got hospital.
Down goes one more. It is now a 4-to-3 player count. Animal House has consistently maintained a 1-player lead, and it has been a very, very great benefit. So down goes one more. It's only a down. CJ's going to at least be able to get this information out to them. But there's the second kill against Animal House.
I got the guy. I'm coming back.
Looks like Chowie, if we heard that correctly, is going to be come back there. Vadi now evens it up at 2v2 with one revivable. They certainly can hear Daniels is around the corner as well. Maybe even Lipinski. Down goes Daniels, a 1v2 now with Lipinski around the opposite side of the building. I think Vadi knows exactly where they are. But look at that! Look at that little pop-up kill. Lipinski makes us a 1v1 with a revive, and Chowie is looking for where this person's body is. So 1v2, they are not going to have an accurate kill count here now. That is going to be critical. Uh-oh, well, look at this. Confirmation on that body might give exactly where to look. Question is, you look up or do you look down? CJ's always held this particular angle as well. Chowie, so there they are, directly underneath the camera in the rubble, providing a little bit of that backup. So we have 3 minutes remaining. Lipinski's got plenty of time to at least figure out how they're going to surgically remove one or two. I don't think a cap is in their heads right now. I think just winning this round by kills is really it for them. Quick time check as we saw the base of the hand there. Realizing they do have 2 minutes remaining, so they gotta have to relocate. They have to dedicate to that particular angle on a push. CJ back where exactly where their body had fallen originally. Sounds like they're trying to work out where exactly they want to pick the fight from. We haven't seen anybody on the rooftop here yet. It is rather an exposed angle to go from. Chowie could be seen with a little bit more movement. 1 minute 35 seconds remaining. They have to keep an eye on this clock. And now they've obscured themselves from Chowie in this particular case because of the angle. They are just trying to figure out where exactly they are sitting. You can kind of suspect where at least one would be. One's going to be inside the building, tucked into the stairwell. Because that's a very common spot. You can hear everything you need to. You're obscured from many different angles. But is this the correct choice to approach it, though? 1 minute remaining flat here. Means we got a lot of ground to cover, and also keep an eye out where Chowie potentially is sitting. Pop back over here real quick, see what they're talking and thinking about. See the laser briefly flash over here, but Chowie now I think here's where exactly Lipinski is. 30 seconds remaining. Here comes the clock. Lipinski's got to make this move. Is it going to be for the kills, or is it going to be for a kill on a cap attempt? Because they do have a little bit of wiggle room, and it does throw them back on defense in this particular position, which would be good for them. Down goes Chowie. 15 seconds remaining. Hub is going to have to come out and around. They do, and they defend it.
Bye.
Woo! Okay, so that is pushing time to the limits there. And OP was able to successfully defend it. This is, are we going to see a 4-2, 2-4, 4-2? Or are we going to see the last map inverse? Are we going to see all 4s and 2s here? It certainly seems like we are leaning towards that. And it might be a bit of a tough way to go into map number 3. Because where do you go if you're relatively even on map number 1 and map number 2, especially with these bans out here? Maybe you go to Snow Peak, which OP has played and won 3 times. You go to something the Animal House would be weak on. So just, I was gonna say Arctic, but that's not the case. Bazaar is off the map. Subway. Could go to Arctic, but they have won it twice, and they've won every single round there. Not many choices. Not many choices. Let's see how this round goes. Animal House has successfully defended every round on Volk, I believe. Lipinski going down into the deep. Covering the garage. Looks like the rest of the team is really not going to go this direction whatsoever, though. They're opting to go all the way up and around, minus CJ, who's just kind of holding back for a little bit of that rear guard. Maybe a distractionary kind of a shot once the rest of the team gets into position. If they just kind of hold back a little bit more into protection instead of looking for a kill, it would be a great flank play. And then allow you to rotate in from really anywhere on the full eastern side of the map. We got one. Ares all the way out in their spot again. Ree's not gonna get hurt, I don't think, though, from here. Shots out from Ree do not connect. Quokka does not reach for that syringe.
He's gonna.
But that does give the call out for the burning building there. Right there, that way. Over there. I think Chowie finally got the directional set. And does not successfully tag them again. I'm sure Quokka is getting a little bit more nervous as to where that was. But look at this. 4 people positioned around Ares. Ares is entirely surrounded, and they could have even popped out and gotten Ree on the engine here.
Watch a red ramp.
Lorraine and Chowie. Oh, there goes down Ree. call out a corner, but Chowie does get a quick snap and does get the kill in the end.
If my aim
4
is
people
super
surrounded them, and they paid for one, but not for the other. That is going to give the positioning from this particular push, though, entirely away, because there was a lot of rounds exchanged there from 2 different types of guns at that. So I'm pretty sure Daniel and Sarcasm know they've got something coming their direction, and they're coming in fast. You can see CJ working their way up as well. Looking for Quokka. There's another from Chowie. Animal House is getting cut down bit by bit here. This is not looking good for them. The Pinsky's got to cross back. Down they go. It is now a 4v2. Animal House has not been maintaining the players alive as they have been before. This may turn into a 3v3 at this rate unless something happens where Sarcasm gets a double. The smoke on uplink, smoke coming off of uplink. Trying to get CJ inside. They are on the rubble. Tablet is out. A second smoke up and over. Quokka's not going to get this. Down they go. I don't think CJ is able to reach from here, are they? I don't think they had the signal there. Around the corner. 1 remaining. 1 alive. And Sarcasm is panicking, coming back in, and OP sneak underneath their noses and pick up a 4-3 win on map number 2. What a way to sneak in and get control of the uplink. What a fantastic push as a distractionary. CJ, we saw so much earlier in the round, just holding all the way back when the rest of the team kind of get into their positions and then deal with Ares, the one that was surrounding them, it surrounded entirely. And after just dealing with that one, the push started coming in and going as best as they could, and CJ just kind of capitalized on the moment and really just redefined how do you play as a flanker, and one to kind of just be your guy to sit back and then play a different stealth game. All right, we'll be right back here. We're switching out hosts, or we're switching out lobbies here. We are on Snow Peak. Everybody's gonna come in here briefly, and we'll be right back. Alright, and we are back. We are starting all the way off in the northwest hangar. Probably one of my favorite positions on this map personally, but look at this. We got the quick spawn on the Bone Mountain. 2 coming this direction. Down goes 1. They just look back over their shoulder and go, well, there goes Vadi. I don't think they're going to repeat this, but look at this. Quokka is starting to rush in on this direction as well, with somebody covering in the back. Oh! And a quick shot out from Reed, but they are not shooting at the right person. And Daniel gets the other shot counter to them. Uh-oh, almost a team kill there. Gotta watch the aggressive pushes that they are doing. Look at this. One person remaining on the uplink while the rest are still very far pushed, taking advantage of the surprise, the fact they knew exactly where they're coming from, identified early on, taken out very, very quickly. And now they've got to readjust as to what they're going to do for a 2v5. And Quokka's really just on charge here. Uh-oh, Chowie does get them.
That was a fuck, dude.
They were very surprised. They were very surprised there. Down goes Loreen all the way off in the distance. And we had a quick, aggressive push from Animal House, disregarding all sorts of defense tactics there, just going an all-out aggression. That style might have worked as well on a previous round. Maybe when they had a little bit more wiggle room on quarantine, where Quokka was doing the suicide run of life all the way into the center of burning building. Maybe if they had a couple more, but from different sides of the plains, that might have actually worked as well, because, I mean, OP didn't expect that to happen whatsoever. And we heard Chowie, pure surprise there. So let's see what they're gonna do now, because it's a very, very different ball game here, especially being on Snow Peak. We're gonna be going outside and inside. We're gonna be cold, we're gonna be warm. We're gonna see each other very easily. We're gonna not. I'm wondering if the drone's gonna come out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Guys, that's our first round.
Yeah, we just lost our 100% round one. Dude, I literally, like, they literally just, like,
Yeah, that was big. Then it was
if you guys pushed out faster, you would have had, like,
if I had a flash.
Yeah, you can quite clearly hear that they are
Ran up and I didn't hear it.
disappointed in
Okay, listen.
in that particular round. Kind of a similar setup. Chowie identifies a cross as well. And unable to actually do anything about it, though, because of the suppression fire, it looks like that was coming from the mountain. The Quokka was that made it all the way over.
I've life.
Looks like they might have had to use a syringe. I don't see it on their body there.
This did not kill him. Or not hit him?
Let's see this. Loreen's using a hollow sight. Quick exchange out overall, leaving us a 4v4 for players, but all the two lasers that are dialed over here on Quokka seem to be either missing or they're just not connecting as much because they don't have something a little bit more accurate than the hollow sight. Lipinski's trying to figure out where exactly we want to take this angle from as well.
Near objective.
They could possibly identify Loreen.
That's OB.
Could possibly. They are sticking out just a little bit off that mountain range there. Quokka's basically stuck still. But it's also a great distraction too, because of the fact that they're so dialed in on Quokka.
Bunker Wall might be trying to do a quick flank on us, to be honest. He hasn't shot in a while and I haven't seen him peek.
Oh, listen to that there. It's a great little idea to check. That is Ree all the way out there. They are trying to progress a little bit more inch by inch, it seems. Nice little later angle. To hold here as well. gonna take a peek at what Sarcasm is thinking for this kind of a rotation as well. They got 3 minutes remaining, so they do have to at least keep moving on this one. They have a 4 times capability, so they could have seen, I think, where Lipinski might have been a little bit better off having that that shot
We
where
know where
Lorraine was.
2, possibly 3 are practically at.
Quoke is making their move. Is Lorraine going to see this, or is CJ going to? CJ's got that doorway. Ooh, they held still just long enough, and there's a double from the team. Animal House has now gotten them into a 2 to 4 defense position here.
You might be able to gap now.
And an excellent smoke from Quokka to at least get the front obscured. Lorraine, they're dialed in on Quokka. They do get that kill in the end. Say 3 to 2. Is Lorraine going to hear this? Because they know Ares, as in they,
The one right
know that they're back here.
One north.
They were really just going for Chowie in the end, though. Oh, and Lorraine just gets charged at around the corner there, and Ares does end up taking them out, but does take a round in the end for a second round for the headshot. Sarcasm is charging in. Now Chowie has to actually maintain defensible positions here. Sarcasm could get in and get this cap. They just need to hold still a little bit longer. Oh, okay, Chowie's gonna double back here, and they do rush out in the end, looking not to defend it, but to at least ensure that they die and not get capped on in return. Because that would have been a very, very big catastrophe on their end, with being a 0 to 3 position. So Snow Peak so far is 2 rounds and 2 wins for Animal House. Something that I wasn't entirely expecting, but and especially the deployment of the tactics there. I don't think anybody was really expecting that charge in still. But as you can kind of see, we are inside. I should have continued down. I'm just going to fly around in the inside a little bit. But a wonderful way to really kind of throw OP off in their game a bit. We do have a C4 from Lipinski on the chest, and everybody else looks like they have their usual kits.
I wasn't the person to die, was I?
No, I was I did.
Yeah, I blame the people that died for getting crapped on, not me.
Okay, sarcasm.
We did our job on dying.
Kind of see a little bit of the standard defense positions so far. Let's see where Quokka's going in the end. Frag grenade is basically a waste back here, though. Sarcasm gets their first kill on Ree. Gets the call out. There's the flashbang and a second flashbang in the end, and we get stuck in the wall. A little bit of duck and cover here. Down goes Chowie in the end of it all. Just a matter of timing which way you're gonna go and when.
Pushing you in the south.
And down goes CJ as well. Looks like OP lost one in the mix-up of everything here. So they have 2 remaining versus the 4 with 4 minutes on the clock still. And they are coming in from the north on the back tunnel. Daniel patiently waiting here. They used their frag grenade already. So, with PKM, I don't know if they're really going to have much else. They do have one flashbang. Down goes Vadi. Loring is around the corner from the mountain. It might be wise to actually pull back and off. The flashbang does get them in the end. The second one is not going to. They are... Maybe it was a different person. It had to have been a different person who biggest in the point count, so you can't have 2 frag grenades. Daniel's getting a little bit peeky there. Oh, passing the flags, passing off the utility maybe is a whole other option though. And look at that, Animal House has dominated round number 3 as well. This is a very, very different ball game we are seeing out of Animal House. Very different ball game. And you know what I just noticed? We crossed 4,500 followers. That's a pretty good number. I saw us creeping up towards the end of 13. I think we were at 4,000 earlier, towards the end of 13. I know Nightfire had called out another milestone as well. So it is fantastic to see everybody coming out, following, and subscribing. I see Rufio222 had subscribed with Prime for 4 months. So thank you for everybody who is following and joining the action overall, and thanks to Patreons as well, because we do have Patreon. Here at patreon.com/VRML. Not sure what Vadi's really doing here for those extra shots, but see Ree all the way in the north. They're not going to get anything here. They're going to have a full free reign push as a flank maneuver. Ares and Quokka are going to encounter Chawi here around the corner. The flashbang up and over does not actually make contact, but they do get Ares in the end all the way in the back, and then double up with Quokka.
Two down.
Lipinski and Hubs around the corner from each other and across the way. A brief fire push around that corner is going to at least knock them out of position and give Sarcasm the ability to maneuver in here. You see Chawi around the corner now from Lipinski. This is going to be dangerous for them. Down goes Sarcasm. Lipinski looks for Chawi and ends up getting a trade out with Ree. This is now a 1v3 for Animal House. And they are very, very mistimed on this push. There's the conversation of keeping it a 3v2. Just to ensure that there is the mentality of that we are still up, but in a little bit of a dangerous situation, because once you are traded out, as you if you've played, you know there is no communication once you're dead. Brief moment here that we've got of silence. Daniel is choosing to use his time to kind of invoke a little bit more uncertainty into OP's minds as to where they're coming from, because you don't have any action for a little while. You're wondering where they're going and what they are doing and how do you prepare for it. take a quick peek back over on the uplink. See what communication we can get from the rest here. Daniel is now within sight of the uplink. I think Vadi recognizes that they are
I
there.
don't know, I just hear him running around. Probably at the boxes.
Indeed they are. Here comes the flashbang up and over. Directly above their head. They are most certainly blind. The question, I guess, was, should you actually just stay sitting down and not shoot, especially since you had the lead, or maybe you just stay silent in the fact that you don't give exactly the position where you would just flash from away, and ensuring that they know where to shoot. So the choice was made, and OP have cut the momentum of Animal House down. This might turn dangerous. This might turn dangerous. If you can... Oh. If you can get into the uplink on the inside, then you most certainly can cap. But we are going back outside into the cold and going into the southwest next to the 2 helicopters. And if memory serves me right, these are Mi-24 Hinds. Attack helicopters. I don't fly the helicopters in Digital Combat Simulator very often, at least the Russian attack helicopters, but I believe that is the Mi-24. Usually fly the A-10, the Huey, Apache. Do that in VR. That's always a fun little trip. You get shot down in a helicopter? Oof. VR, that your stomach will flip out. I don't get airsick very often, really, if at all, except for when the couple occasions of the private pilot side of things, I had a whole bunch of heat and did a whole bunch of 360s. And that was really the only time I've thrown up. I almost threw up by getting shot down in the helicopter in VR. That was a trip. Anyways, enough of my rambling. I'm gonna see Quokka and Daniel set up for the more northwestern position, but as we now know, the Animal House is now discovered that they are not coming from the northwest. They are charging headfirst directly in from the southeast. And Ree is around the corner. Aries doesn't recognize it.
Minus another mother. Dude fucking shot
A little bit of equipment scavenging from CJ Hubs. Pretty good idea here, but look at this Showie and Daniels. Daniel could have peeked up and gotten them, but are they going to shoot through the wall instead? No, they are not. They are going to... They're going to just check their tablet and then chill out. There's the shots through the wall. Does not connect, and Daniel's going to get 2 and then get taken out by Laureen all the way in the south east here. Approach in. And now the uplink is again wide open, with Sarcasm having to crash back in through the hangar because Laureen is up and over around the corner, and Lipinski is not going to see the action on this side, so they have to crash back in as well. Down goes Sarcasm. Animal House needs to just let this round go and ensure that a cap is not done, because that would put them in a tie position, and there is the death of Lipinski. That was very, very capable position set that OP was in, and that would have again been disastrous. That could have turned into OP having a 3-3 and winning the next round as Volk, and that would not have been good for Animal House. Animal House right now is really just playing to try to maintain the aggression and maintain as much of a point system they can to ensure there's any damage on the MMR side reduced. It'd be interesting to see if there's enough of a point gap to deter OP taking the top spot of NA. There is only a 10-point MMR difference, so it looks like they may be taking over the slot, because they have not lost a match yet. Shawty's at least got a little bit more of the long range view there
Yo, wait till we.
on the scope.
Yo, wait till we actually be so bad.
Looks like they might be doing a similar approach here with Ree being actually more aggressive instead of what we saw in Animal House earlier. I think this is also a common aggressive spot for a Volk to sit in. Probably is a good indicator it's known. Flashbang up and over does contact with Ree, but they are out of it just in time. Lipinski's gonna have to slow down this approach here, or go a little bit wide. Trade out in the end with a headshot from Lipinski is not going to ensure that the position is reclaimed without a consequence. Looking at the mini-map, we can see that there is the one. Sarcasm all the way out and over. Not really able to get out of the bullets here from Chowie. This is not looking good for Animal House with this push. Now a 2v4.
Pushing over towards you, buddy.
Flashbang up and over, and it still doesn't really matter. There's my UI. Boca making this at least a 1v3. They're not going out without a fight. The question now is Vadi going to stay still in this position and just accept the mid-range distance coverage here, as across the way there is another one. So near that is Loreen covering the opposite angle. So they've got the entryways really locked down. There's no way of getting in. It's a matter of patience at that point. Even when Loreen goes down, that really doesn't open up that angle at all, because you have Chowie still in the north position of the hill sets there. Three minutes remaining. Quokka's going to pull back. Oh, but we did see the laser quickly duck over their head. What equipment are they picking up? More mags? Yeah. Just another mag there. A little bit of utility. Maybe picking up that gun would have at least thrown a tiny bit of confusion, but at the same time we know Quokka is on the way in from the southeast. Here we go. Vadi is going to know in a second. Quokka's directly on top of them. Down they go. This is a 1v1 with 2 minutes remaining, and the question now is, where is Showy going to go to cover all of this directionally? They're opting to stay off in the back, and Animal House win map number 3. So it doesn't win them the match, but they at least get to reduce the point gap here, and they then take the map. An excellent push there, despite the fact that they lost so many people early on. And then Snow Peak actually hasn't been played by Animal House this season yet. So this was an entire throw off for them compared to what their usual map set is. And I think OP had explicitly chose it to try to maintain the upper hand advantage, and it just didn't work. I don't think they expected the aggression out of Animal House on this map. It was very, very different ballgame compared to, say, Abandon, the other large one we went to tonight, and that is a fantastic way to throw off the opponent. And this is OP's first loss on Snow Peak. We heard earlier, there goes the 100% win rate that they've maintained through week number 7. They played this 3 times in the last 7 weeks, and they've won 100% of all of their rounds. They have now lost that. It'll probably be a 74 and 86% round win rate. And this throws off their match win rate on Snow Peak as well. So this was a big upset for Animal House on this map. Very, very big upset for them. Alright, enough of my blabbing. This was a fantastic match to watch. This was the number 1 voted match of the week. I think there was 43 when I checked earlier. And I think the other one was a high 30s. And I believe Nightfire has got that one covered tomorrow. Nightfire is covering OP again, but as a way. We'll take a look at this. They are covering Vendetta versus OP at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow with 37 community vote interest. So, another good one to tune into again tomorrow night. Same channel, same time. All right. Have a good night. Thanks for joining with me. See you tomorrow.